story. All right. The White House is under fire today, accused of censoring a video of French President François Hollande where he used the words Islamist terrorism. The remarks were part of Hollande's address last week at the nuclear summit in Washington, D.C. The White House reportedly posted the video to its website with no edits, but then took it down and then re-uploaded it with that phrase missing. Take a listen.
We also were aware that the roots of terrorism.
Et nous devons agir en Irak et en Syrie. C'est ce que nous faisons dans le cadre de la coalition. Et
well, you can hear the interpreter's voice dip out at the very moment the French president starts talking about the roots of terrorism. The White House claiming the omission was due to a, quote, technical issue. It did eventually repost the full version. Well, here's that video.
But we also were aware that the roots of terrorism, Islamist terrorism, is in Syria and in Iraq.
Very different. The White House went on to further explain what happened, saying in part, quote, as soon as this was brought to our attention, we posted an updated video online with the complete audio, which is consistent with the written transcript that we released yesterday. Are you buying this, Smitty?
No, I'm not, because wouldn't that be really, really interesting timing to have that technical glitch occur?
On that one word.
And thank you to the Media Research Center, the media watchdog, who actually caught this gap coming from the words. But I guess it leaves you wondering what else is being censored and what is coming out from these parts of the world and being delivered to us from the White House. And their complete denial of it leaves you wondering even more.
It's funny you should ask that, Sandra, because we know, Kennedy, that over 160 intelligence agents stood up and said they're trying to censor our intelligence reports.
Yeah.
They're trying to get us to strike any threat of Islamic jihadism from our intel reports, and they've been doing this for almost 8 years.
I mean, that's censorship. What more do you want? That is the prototypical definition of censorship. You have a government agency or agent shutting down people's speech. They do it with the press. They do it with intelligence, as you pointed out, and now they're doing it with one of our allies, the president of France. And you got to be sensitive to what François Hollande has been through in his country.
Right.
You know, look at the attacks that country has withstood, and he's bold enough to stand up and say, you know, this is Islamist terror. You have to qualify exactly what it is, and it's so Machiavellian. It's so politically convenient for this White House, who refuses to use that term, to drop it. So
it was interesting you use you reference Machiavellian because it's been going on since even beyond the Renaissance. Whoever the power that be is, they spin the news to suit their agenda. Going back to the substance, though, of why President Obama cannot mouth the expression Islamist terrorist, that is baffling to me. I don't understand why. Listen, I've got plenty of Muslim friends. I love them. They love me, all the rest of it. But there is a fact of life here that, and Hollande is absolutely right, in Syria and Iraq, you have this hotbed of radical Islamic terrorism, and the president should cop to it, and I don't understand why he...
Look at what just happened in Brussels, outside of, you know, in a suburb of Brussels. I mean, clearly there is a problem, and clearly there's one group of people living there. And among them are these radicals. And I don't understand why
when the French are less politically correct than America, I think it's a bit troubling on this issue. It is the one word that he refuses to say. And I saw a bunch of people joking around on Twitter. Maybe he got some ideas from his Cuba trip on censorship, because it's really odd that the White House would censor those words.
I think Kennedy put it beautifully. After what they have survived, after what they have gone through, it's more real and more personal.
They, or the French?
The French. People in Europe in general. We've just named 3 different countries. What about the women in Cologne who were raped and assaulted, right? I mean, come on. Let's talk about this like it's really happening in words that we all know are true. And that's what they're doing. And we don't want to be the only country that's not doing that. That makes us look weak.